Hello and welcome along to Greyhound Gold for another week. David Short and Brett Honey with you. What's going on, Badger?
G'day, Shorty. Yeah, fired up as usual. Really excited for this weekend of Greyhound racing. I've got a really good card there on Friday night and a really good final of Sandy's Me Mum there Saturday night at Cannington. Good field, really even field. So I think if you like one there, you'll get a half-decent price.
Indeed, yeah. Heats of the Dash Thursday night, Mandurah too. Looking forward to those particular heats over the shorter trip. Let's go back to the feature from last Friday night, though. It was the Express Stake there at Mandurah. And having a look in the early stages, Rex Hunter gets out really well from box number 6, as does Weston Odie out wider on the track. Ripon Tomahawks punching through into a nice spot. Stanger Fires there. Rex Hunter, though, is able to find the top, keeps rolling. Ripon Tomahawks just starting to get into clear running and starting to make ground up in the home straight. It's the old boy, Ripon Tomahawk, who claims the lead and goes on for a big win. Rex Hunter sticks on pretty well for second there. Sunset Mirage is a mighty run for third, came from a long way back. Drew awkwardly, found trouble, but still hit the line really well for third. All honours, though, with the old stager in Ripon Tomahawk, a much-deserved victory for a wonderful old greyhound. 6:34, 11:59, 22 and 37. Congratulations to the Shane Train Williams and the connections there. He's been a wonderful dog for a very long period of time, and great to see it take out the feature on Friday night.
Yeah, he's a grand old campaigner, Shorty, and he's all heart. You know, he's not the fastest dog going around, but he's handled himself in against really good dogs for a long time, Ripon Tomahawk, and he got an opportunity there on Friday night. He was able to get to the front, and the key was one of those real strong dogs who could run time in the race. They weren't the ones that were directly behind him, so he made his own luck out in front, and he was a bit too good there on Friday night, and he looks quite effective at that 400 metre trip. These days it does find it a little bit more difficult at that 520 with some of the speeds going around, but yeah, if he finds the front of that shorter trip, he's going to be inevitably hard to beat.
Now into the veterans races as well, so you can watch out for him.
That was a slight downgrade on Tuesday.
Yeah, and unfortunately didn't win, but I'm sure there'll be many wins in veteran class for Ripon Tomahawk heading forward. Speaking of winners, let's see if we can find some for you for the weekend of chasing upcoming. Kicking off Friday night, Mandurah, my best bet. Race 7, number 1, Can You Refine? Quality victory last week from the same draw. This has just got a rinse and repeat feel to me. Has to only turn up, step like it did, run the time it did, and there'll be more collecting for the punters that team up with Can You Refine. Looks awfully hard to beat. Race 7, number 1. Looking for a bit of value. I'm going to go to race 8, a race over the 488 metres, and I'm teaming up with a stayer that's dropping back to the 488 here in Clifton Cruise. Draws box number 5. Look, recent form's been excellent against our best middle distance and staying dogs. This dog never seems to be out of form. It just continually hits the frame. It's only had the one start here over the 488. On that occasion ran 27.37. That sort of time probably wins this, to be frank. So, look, you're going to need a little bit of luck. It's not always push button, but he's a stayer that does generally race up on top of the speed. So I wouldn't faint here if it sort of sat top 3 or 4 within the run. And with clear running, running to that 27.3 range, I think this dog can run a race and should be at each way odds. Clear Danger's Kiss for Chaos, who's been going really well in recent starts, but it'll be fairly short, and thought we could get a bit of value about Clifton Cruise, the stayer back to the 488, charging home. Could be all over the top of them late. Race 8, number 5, the value to go along with my best bet. Race 7, number 1, Can You Refine? Who do you like, Brett?
Yeah, like you're thinking there, Shorty. My best bet, I'm going to the stayers race. Race 4 and number 6, Rhino Bale, first up in WA, and found a pretty thin stayers event, I thought, Shorty. Look, his recent Vic form looked okay without being flattering, but I just thought Mandurah might not be a bad track for him, because he did look like he wanted to get down to the rail. He hasn't got a lot of early speed, so I'm hoping he can just flop out of the boxes, head straight down to that rail. And looking at this field, a lot of these either don't run the triple that strong, they don't really run time, so if he can get to the rail, he'll be very hard to hold out late. Rhino Bale could be a good acquisition for the Crew Dellies. And for a bit of value, going race 6, number 8, Sand Patch, I thought this effort was very good last week. Just got too far back, but still broke 22.30 in defeat, Sand Patch. I thought that he was every chance to lead this race. I thought she could cross, run 22.20 and be very hard to beat here. Very keen there. So race 6, number 8, Sand Patch to go. Race 4, number 6, Rhino Bale.
All right, let's switch on to Saturday night at Cannington. Of course, the feature there, the Sandy's Me Mum Memorial Trophy, race that pays tribute to one of the all-time greats of WA chasing. Of course, Jerry O'Keefe and Sandy's Me Mum, absolute stars of our sport going back many years ago now, and I love the fact that we keep this race on the calendar each and every year to remember those two wonderful people. One wonderful person and, of course, one great chaser from years gone by. Let's see if we can't find you a few winners on the card. Kicking off race 9, number 2, West on Booney, my best bet here. This looks just a perfect assignment. West on Booney's drawn a grade of race here that just looks to have a massive class edge. Likely leader in box number 1 that's got speed to zoom to the top. West on Booney should be able to just tuck down behind, get a lovely run, and from there I thought it was clearly going to be the dog to beat. Will be very strong the back half of the 500 metres. Race 9, number 2, West on Booney. And deeper into the card, race 11, number 1, Calico Joe. I'm not sure what sort of price Calico Joe will be. Started short from this draw in an easier race last time out, but do like this dog when it draws the fence. It really does grow legs, run some very good placings behind some high quality opposition. Cashed in on the draw there last weekend when it did get box number 1. I think can make it 2 on the bounce here from the Cherry, so it looks well placed to me. Race 9, number 2, West on Booney. Race 11, number 1, Calico Joe. Over to you, Brett.
Yeah, teaming up with you, Shorty, here. Race 9, number 4, West on Booney is my best bet. I thought this was the perfect map for this kind of dog. Vacant 3, no speed in boxes 4 or 5. Now, Rip and Tomahawk's likely going to hold up Uncle Tommy, who is the speed element drawn out wide. And I thought he could just get right there and be far too strong for him later. He'll be short, but he'll be winning West on Booney in race 9. That's number 2. Race 5, number 1, Chloe Ann is my value. I thought she got the best map ever here inside Storm Alert, who really does like to get off that the track, and with the likes of Wooden Hands now drawn out side Storm Alert, he may have some issues early, and I just thought Chloe Ann could get on the arm here. She was swallowed up by Yamisaki Bale last week, but that dog's absolutely flying at the moment. I don't think there's any real concern there, and if she can pinch a break on the arm, she's always very hard to run down, and Storm Alert's probably the only dog that could do it, so I'm very keen to team up with her. Race 5, number 1, Chloe Ann to go. Race 9, number 2, West on Booney. Got a bit of confidence there on Saturday night, Shorty. Hopefully we can find a couple winners.
Good to hear, Brett. Get around his thoughts for Saturday night. He does have that ring of confidence about it. Of course, punters, lots going on. Greyhounds WA, Mandurah on Thursday and Friday nights. A big night ahead here Saturday as well. If you're yet to make plans, get out here trackside and have a fun night. Get in contact with the food and beverage team at Greyhounds WA. They will look after you. That's it for our latest edition of Greyhound Gold. Make sure you tune in again this time next week for our next edition of Greyhound Gold.